You're watching Clean Skies News. I'm Tyler Suter. Standing next to me is a familiar face, Tyson Slocum, the Public Citizen. Tyson, great to have you with us again.
Yeah, great to be here.
We've been talking for weeks now about climate legislation. We have a House bill, and you had said that the utilities are really big winners in Waxman-Markey.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you look at the way the free allocations are distributed to them, the local distribution companies, the local utilities are going to be in charge of divvying out that money to rebate to households. Our estimate is that utilities have about 85% of their greenhouse gas emissions needs met through the free allocations for the first 20 years. Compare that to the refiners, which have about 60% of their emission needs met through the free allocations. So, that's why a lot of the major utilities, from Exelon to Duke to others, have strongly endorsed this legislation. Exelon's CEO John Rowe told Wall Street folks that he expects to see about $1.5 billion of extra income from their fleet of nuclear and merchant coal plants. And so utilities definitely win. And Henry Waxman has acknowledged as such. He said that this was a compromise between environmentalists working with utilities, and so it makes sense that utilities come out ahead with the legislation.
Given that expected revenue, Tyson, is it a bit of a wash in that the Obama administration lost all this cap and trade revenue it expected with a 100% auction? Instead, only a 15% auction, but with this money and revenue the utilities are bringing in, will that help offset consumer costs?
Well, we've got some concerns about the ability of the free allocations to utilities to mitigate all of the potential cost increases on households because it's really left up to the 50 different state utility commissions to determine exactly what these rebates and energy efficiency programs are going to look like. We'd like to have a little more certainty, and so that's something that we're working with the Senate. We've got a clear blueprint now. We've got 1,400 pages of legislation. Everybody's acknowledged that it isn't perfect, and so we're going to the Senate, identifying those things that we see as problematic and working to try to get some improvements. And one of them is to beef up the consumer protection components of the bill.
During the House negotiations among Democrats on Waxman-Markey, Barbara Boxer had said to me that they're closely following negotiations. How accurate is that? How much of a blueprint is Waxman-Markey in reality for Barbara Boxer? She's drafting this?
It's very much a blueprint. I mean, we've talked to Boxer's folks, and they're going to be starting with the Waxman-Markey bill as it cleared the Energy and Commerce Committee in the House. And so they
more
are
so than Boxer, Lieberman, Warner from last year.
Absolutely. And so they're definitely going to be putting their own designs on it, but they are starting with the legislation because Waxman-Markey started off with a lot of compromises among a lot of different industries, and so the Senate thought that would be a good starting place. But they're definitely going to be doing their own design on it. Groups like mine and others are already meeting with folks in the Senate, identifying some of the problem areas and working to get the strongest bill possible.
Pass or fail in the Senate, Tyson, what do these two companion bills give to the Obama administration looking forward to Copenhagen and the international climate talks?
Well, Public Citizen actually disagrees somewhat with some other groups that say that legislation is required to have in Obama's hand by the time that we get to Copenhagen. I think that's an urban myth. I think that the fact is that there are elements of the Waxman-Markey bill that actually hinder us in an international venue. The fact that there isn't enough money for adaptation and clean technology transfers for developing countries, the fact that you've got these punitive trade measures in there, which Obama singled out right after Waxman-Markey passed the House at the end of June, because Obama has been going full tilt with ongoing negotiations behind the scenes with the Chinese, and he understands that that's a non-starter. So if anything, these two components, the fact that there isn't enough money for the developing world to deal with climate change adaptation and the transfer to a clean energy technology, and the fact that we've got punitive trade tariffs which irk China and India, I think that's actually, we're going to be on the defensive at Copenhagen. So I actually think that the rush to get this legislation on a timetable for Copenhagen might be a little counterproductive. I think that just the fact that President Obama has made addressing climate change such a centerpiece of his campaign and of his administration, It's a clean break from the previous administration. He's got a lot of good faith with the international community. And the fact is, a lot of other countries are going to be coming to the table at Copenhagen without any sort of domestic deal.